When you're making music, finishing tracks might be one of the hardest tasks you will come across in the whole process. There is a way of finishing your tracks, obviously, but that means there's a little bit of organization you need to figure out. I'm thinking it has to do with looking at the band members and looking at the song structure. Now, if you're ready, go grab your notepad and let's go do it right now. Hey, what's up? I'm Analog Kitchen and thank you for checking out yet another video. Now, if this is your first time here, don't hesitate to click subscribe, hit that notification bell, because whenever I upload a new video, you'll be kept in the loop and you will not miss out on anything. Hang out till the end of this video. I'll tell you all about Discord, Patreon, tell you about the Mixer project, I'll tell you all about the Kitchen Club. Finishing tracks. It's one of those most debated things out in the internet. If you search it up on Google or you search it here on YouTube, you'll find ample videos on finishing a track. Do this, do that, do such and such. I have actually got an idea on how you can get to a result fast without you overthinking stuff, right? Now, it starts with a few tips. First, you need to understand what kind of sound you would like to make, all right? Very important. You have to think ahead on this. This you do away from your equipment. You'll think on how does it need to sound? What kind of sound would you like to make? Then the second thing you might want to do once you know what you want to make, analyze songs close to your sort of like signature sound. Listen or analyze songs close to your sound. This will determine how many ingredients you would need. In the dollars world, it means how many synthesizers you will have to acquire or use, or program, or structure, or level. There's a lot that goes into it, so it's a very important point to understand where you want to go and how you want to go about it. Then once you've analyzed that, determine what kind of an artist you are. First, you know what kind of song you want to make, then you listen to somebody else's song, and then you will determine what kind of a band am I. Cross-pollinate stuff. You know, get a reggae bass line to go with a hip-hop beat. Get a techno sound to go with an R&B vocal. Those things are things that the listener knows. They've heard it before, but they might not have connected the dots together. And when you're doing a dollar set, you can go all over the place. You are more flexible than any other DJ/performer would be. So you have to take advantage of the fact that you can do a little bit whatever you would like. So to have a big fat analog bass line play something really, really dubby, that's a cool thing to do, right? So see if you can cross-pollinate stuff. And because it's a proven structure, you'll end up with a track much sooner than you would think. You will eliminate overproduction, and that's exactly what you would need. Also, a thing to do is to prioritize what is important. What sounds go first? What kind of sound are you going to use first? How are you going to use it? How does it need to sound in conjunction to something else? Prioritize what you want to work on first is a very important part. I mean, if you're building a house, you might want to start at the foundation, not at the rooftop. no matter how great it looks, foundation first, build the rest on there later. Look for infinite loops. Try and make a hamster wheel out of everything you're using. Your brain will pick up transients as they occur at a moderate volume. I'm talking about maybe 75 like SPL. Listening to music is done with your ears, not so much with your eyes, so don't look at levels. Listen for levels and listen to fluctuations. Try and master your gear as fast as you can, because every box has its own sort of like temper, and you need to get the hang of what those tempers are in order for your band to be successful at playing together, right? So from the minute you can listen to a bass drum and you know how fluctuations go, maybe it's a bit unstable. With old school gear you have that a lot sooner than with modern gear, obviously, but try and look for it, and look for those infinite loops. Can you create them? So if your bass drum's got this infinite loop, can you stick something on top of it that will add to that infinite loop, so that every step that you will go up on your production structure will add something to the track that is an infinite loop, so your track will never bore. And people have multiple things to latch onto in order for them to just lose their shit on the dance floor. You know, that's pretty much where you want to be if you want to have a finished track. You think, wow, this is amazing, it can go on forever, but the crowd will feel that too, and that is exactly where you will want to be. And you'll get to a finished track sooner. Focus on what band member does what. In my setup, there are multiple bass players involved. Still, I don't want them all to do the same thing at the same time, right? So I have to prioritize who is going to do what exactly. You don't want to have two people in the same spot. It draws the attention away from whatever is happening, and it will just pile up a lot of energy in a certain portion of your music, and it will just exhaust people. If you have a palette that is this wide, use the full extent of the palette. Try on focusing on what band member does what it does it need to do. Prioritize what band member does what. Very important. Another point is to not let insecurity get the better of you. After a while when you're working, you're going to think, I'm not so sure about this bass drum, yeah, blah, blah, blah. It gave you goosebumps like 5 hours ago, but all of a sudden you start to doubt yourself, like, is this going to work? This is also a very strong point to never get your track finished, ever. So it's best to just finish something to the point where you think, I cannot produce anymore, throw it away or bring it out or whatever, and then do another track, so that you will finish the whole process. To finish a track, you have to finish one track first. It will never be perfect, believe me. Whatever you do, how long you're going to be in the game, you'll never finish a track. But at some point you have to say, like, you know what, this is as finished as I would finish it. You know, that's pretty much what it is. Throw it out into the universe and let somebody else decide whether it's finished, yes or no. That's also a thing. So, but don't get insecure. Now, it's going to get a little bit difficult, but try and do your sound leveling as you go, so that by the end of your track you don't have to adjust stuff when you're way into the process already. When you're already making top lines and playing things and adding a little bit of ear candy here and there, it's not the best thing to just go in and think like, oh, the bass line doesn't really sound that well, or the kick drum is not really that great, you know? So you have to really think of it as a triangle kind of structure. First, you will build and bring in the biggest, baddest and most heavy kind of players, and then gradually move up to what's less important, or at least what plays a smaller role within the grand scheme of things. And then, as I said before, it's cool to just like determine what track does what, so that you know you don't have to just like change it around. There is a failsafe, there is a backdoor involved. Obviously, sometimes you do get, if you're making an assignment for someone, or somebody just like changes their mind, or they're not as like clued on to as what you're doing, they might want to change stuff afterwards. I've had it happen to me before. You make a track and all of a sudden people say, yeah, something needs to change. It's cool to understand what position on the field needs to be changed. Yeah, substitute it, but substitute it for the same thing so your whole house doesn't collapse. That's also a thing that you might want to just like take into consideration. Another thing though, when you're working on things, try and focus on one thing at a time. Which means if you're working a bass line, if that is the next level, looking at it from a computer game kind of vibe, you have to just kill the end boss and then move on to the next level, right? A lot of people just get like inspiration all over the place and they try to just do everything at the same time. This is also another pitfall to not finish a track. You know, you have to at some point understand you're working with computers or with machines. You're not working with human beings here. So when you jump to something else, there are certain rules and there's an order in order for you to get from one place to another. And that feels very unnatural when you start out with a dollar set, but it will get better as you go. Hence the finish a track. Even if it's not finished, just tell it it's finished. Because I've had tracks that I've made for about like 20 years ago even, that I'm listening to that I thought like, oh, I was so close. But that one thing that I couldn't find, I really was stressing to find it at that point, and I ruined the whole track. I ruined my mojo, I ruined my enthusiasm. You know, there is one other thing that I think one of my colleagues, Sander Kleinenberg, has said, and that is, making music is fun for the first 5 hours. Then it starts to become a chore. I'm not going to say it's a hard line at 5 hours, but I do understand that making music, it is a grueling, gruesome, long process. It's cool though, because you're constantly trying to just like better yourself, and if you're that kind of person, you know what I'm talking about, and it's a cool thing to do. At the same time though, before you sort something out that sounds half decent, you might be 6-7 hours in. So it might be cool to just tell yourself, let's not stress and find that sound in 5 hours and then come up with nothing, because that's wasted time. And I don't know about you, we all have a lot of time that we want to spend on music, but life can get in the way sometimes, so you want to get results fast. Now, this is the structure and the theory. If you are ready, I will go to my live set and I will just like tell you quick fast on how I have structured my band members. I will play a few things on them, and then there's a song that I've prepared that I think will display how this is going to work and how the separate layers are. Now, if this goes too fast, you might want to rerun this video, because there's going to be a lot of nuggets involved, and this is my preferred way of working. Now, I've been doing this stuff for like forever, so it looks a lot easier than it actually is. At the same time, if you follow the steps, I can promise you it will work out. Now, another thing that I would like blatantly throw in there, if still you have a lot of questions, try and enroll at analogcourses.com. That's where we just get really deeply into how this is working, where we structure stuff, why we make decisions. Today though, I will just like quickly in the factor that I'm making my YouTube videos in, we'll go over how I think that this could work. If you got similar setups or similar boxes or whatever, you know, it doesn't need to be this setup per se. Just think of it as a few band members, a few drummers, a few percussionists. Now, okay, enough talk. If you're ready, throw away that notepad, go sit behind your equipment, and let's go do it. Knowing what sound you would want to make first, that's the first thing that we are going to talk about, right? I'm in the melodic techno realm, so it means that I'm actually thinking on, okay, what kind of drums would I need? I would love to go for an 808. Now, 808, this is an RD8 Behringer. It's just a recent addition to this setup. What I've done is I've got a few patterns laid out already. Let's listen to what I have. There's a mixer right here where everything just gets summed to, which is what I'm going to just like close down like so. So as you can see, 4 white knobs or white sliders, white faders. The first red one, 2 green ones, and then another red one, and then another 2 white ones, and those 2 are the masters. So pretty much there are 12 channels on here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is 9 and 10. A stereo channel. This is 11 and 12. Now those are my send returns. So the Blue Sky Strymon is coming on 11 and 12. The digital delay DD7 here is going on 9 and 10. So those are my returns. There are 2 sends on this mixer, so if I need a little bit of space on certain sounds, I can just open it up and it will just go send the sound into one of those effects, and then it comes out. Very important to structure your sound. Let's first start with the drums. This is my drum computer. I'm going to go on pattern here. Then when I'm on pattern, I'll just go in, if I go to step, and I'll select my bass drum. You see 1, 2, 3, and 4 that my kicks are all there, but we're going to go to pattern so that we can switch what it is playing, and let's do it. On my multi-clock, I've got 3 channels occupied. Channel 1 is the Octatrack, channel 2 is the MPC, channel 3 is the RD8. And in the future, I'm thinking of doing another electro video, and soon channel 4 will be the TB03. So if that's something you're into, let me know in the chat now. That's what I thought. Yeah, a lot of people like acid, so that's coming up in a future video. Now, channel 4 is not occupied. Channel 3 is the drums. So, and it's playing. You have to go into step in order to see it move, because this is something like a CAA kind of thing. So if I'm on pattern, you don't know that it's playing. You have to believe me. On channel 1, separately coming out of the RD8 is the kick. Nice, yeah. So that's my kick. I've got a moderate release and a moderate tone on it, so I want the attack to be very pronounced, because I need to hear this kick throughout the rest of my track. So this is only the kick separate. The rest of the music is coming out of 4. I could have stuck it on 2, I stuck it on 4. And in the middle are the stereo outs for the Octatrack that I'm going to play later on. Now my band is got like this drummer here. That's the first thing that I have, because I'm thinking I don't want to have just a bare kick drum playing. I need something to help the bass drum. And in the sound that I'm doing, I've listened a lot to what Stefan Botzin did in his music, and I hear he's working his sound around a TR-808 drum computer that he obviously fires off with his controller, and I think the drums are coming from his Ableton rig. I, however, have got the RD8 centered to do that. The first pattern, it's fairly empty. That's how I work all my machines, yeah? If I can go sequence them from left to right, which means the same goes on the Octatrack. Usually I use the Octatrack for drums, so track 1 would be a kick drum. That I've not got connected right now, as it's connected to the RD8, but moving up from left to right, stuff gets more intense as I move up. So moving up on my drum computer, going to track 2, that's where a closed hat is, and you can hear that the tom is doing multiple things. For here it was boom, stop, 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 and again, and here it goes like this helps your track forward, because that 808 tom has got like a lot of oomph, and it just sits well within the range of the kick drum. So third pattern, there's a small clap. Do you notice then when the clap is off, it takes a while for the RD8 to get its sort of like reverb going? Listen, the clap is dry first. Here. Well, now it's embedded in the memory, but when you play it at the first time, you'll hear that it's just like dry. Wow, this is a thing that I just noticed. Anyway, not too important. The reverbs that I had, the delay, also do transitions. So this is my delay. On the second auxiliary 2, I've got reverb. Let's play some shimmer. Nice. Yep. And back out. So it spaces out a lot of stuff. Those are my drums, right? Now, this is my A category sound source. Knowing what sounds to make, I know that at a certain point I need a top loop to go. So the top loop is coming from the Octatrack. There's a few things that are playing right there. So let's play it here. Hey, there's another 808 hat. This is just a chopped up disco loop that I had. So a little bit of dirt. You can hear that it's very sort of like lo-fi sounding. As I want this clean, robotic 808 drum computer to have a contrast with what's playing out over here. Let's get this wire out of the way. So, and then I've got multiple drums here. As you can hear, there was an 808 hat playing as well. Since I've got my 808 right here, that will not be playing in the grand scheme of things. On track 4 there's a 909 type hat, or more of a brush hat, and when you play those things together, listen to this. So this is what I meant when I said like analyze to have your sounds work together. So I might be going a tad too fast. That's just the kick, right? So this is the bottom frequency, you can hear it, this is the biggest culprit in the room, and obviously with this loop that plays here, you can hear certain parts of the bass drum sound can work within that loop. Now sound levels is something that I do on the mixer immediately. I don't EQ it, but what I would do is level it out. This being too loud, this being too soft. So if I'm looking at the VU meters here, I'm making sure that this doesn't go in the red. You see it peak a little bit, but it's an analog mixer, so the peaking here will not hurt the sound, to be honest. I can make sure that I shorten it, so as you can see, that is doing something. So I'm trying to just like sound design, shape the kick a little bit, which is something that's very hard to do if I'm not listening to the toms. So I'll listen to the tom first. Let's hear. And the loop. So you can definitely hear some sort of a rule of threes start to arrive here, yeah? You don't need more, you don't need much, but you need something to work. So this is working. Then I don't have to worry about this anymore. There might be a right symbol here. Ooh, there's a percussion loop. Nice. Okay, moving up the frequency spectrum now. Let's go for the clap here. Now you might argue, hey, I don't hear that loop anymore. It's still there, listen. It glues. Let's lower this a little bit. Let's see if there's anything that we can play. Play the hat here as well, which is on track 4. Now I've set up everything in the same way. Track 4 on the octave track is always going to be an open hat. Track 3 will always be a closed hat. Track 2 will always be a loop, and track 1 will always be a kick. Track 5 is going to be a sample and hold sample that, since I've got music coming from the synthesizers in a second, I am not using right now, but to make a transition, I can go in and say like, okay, yeah, I'd love to have something here. Does it play something? At the moment, I don't hear it because that might be a filter that might be closed up. What's that? No, nothing's playing at the minute here, so no worries. But usually on track 5, I'm playing a sample and hold kind of sample. Track 6 is another sharper hat. Now I'm gradually crawling up the frequency spectrum as more stuff gets intense, and then here I'm introducing some sort of a loop, which is a bit on the loud side, I would say. Track 7. So we'll go in, say like, you know what, let's lower the volume. And it does a song and dancing grooves, you know? So song structure wise, you'll build it up, say, let's do this quick fast so you know what's going to happen. So the track starts, okay, boom, 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 boom. Everybody, ah, cool. Nice one, right? So second thing I will need, clap and a hat. Bam, bam, boom, da, 1, 2, 3, 4, groove. Take out that loop and go like bam, da, boom, boom, cha, boom. Okay, we're moving now. This is usually takes me about 2 minutes to do. Now I'm doing it quick fast with a loop like boom. Now moving on to the next groove. There's more stuff coming here. If I'm moving to the next pattern. Now I have got a parametric hat playing on my 808 right here. If I'm closing up the close head, you hear, and there's a right cymbal as well, the tip, tip. Tap, 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 because this pattern is on a 48 measure, meaning it plays on 48. So if you're doing triplets, then it's a never-ending loop on a different measure. If you would have a 4 to the floor kind of like 64 step sequence. So you hear tap, 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 tap. Nice one with a kick. Nice. Also triplets on the hats, on the delay. So you can just go in 1, 2, 3, 4, next one, go like. So I structured the open hat also in a way. But it starts to make sense if you play that close hat together with that open hat, right? Like so. I played a triplet on the hat, so there's another way of moving into a certain routine. Now, the reason I've used a polymetric structure on my hat is that it gets longevity into the track, because working with step sequencers, it'll get stale or at least predictable at some point, so you need to have something that does something otherworldly. Moving on to the next step, and that's going to be music, because now I'm thinking, I've got most of the drums done, I can make this into a track, right? So, taking out what I've got here. So, just the 808 with the kick. Right? Cool. Nice. Now, hat. So if I want things to be more on the ground and I want you just like to get hypnotized into oblivion, I probably won't play that straight hat, but as things progress, if I need a little bit more of a full-on thing in your face, I might debate to think like, you know what, let's just go in. All right, let's move on. The next thing that I would do for this to work is work in some sort of a hypnotizing structure. Arpeggios are key. Let's take those out. Now, if I'm going to turn everything off, the MPC is playing a role where it does play sounds that I'm not going to use using those big ass synthesizers at the moment. So on track 2, channel 2, I told you before, is my MPC. I've got the stereo wired up to the 2 green ones. Those color faders are usually on the stereo left and right, and they're usually on the stereo returns, but this is a set it forget it kind of vibe, as is the returns. So I'll just leave it there. I don't touch it anymore, so I don't need to know where it is because I don't need to be there. But my synthesizers, this being the Minitar, this being the Akai MPC Live, this being the subsequent 37, this is something I need to make out quick fast. And in order to help my muscle memory, I just need to color code them. So you can even order different caps if you would want to, but you know, for this mixer it was on there, so I thought to utilize it in that way. So that is that. Now the next thing I'm going to do is play an arpeggio. This is a polyrhythm because it will start again after a while. A polymeter will just take off and just keeps taking off in some sort of a counter rhythm to the rhythm that it's playing. A polyrhythm will restart itself after a certain a cycle, I would say, if I'm correct. If I'm not correct, tell me, but it was something or other. Working this into a frenzy most of the time. You can stick a filter on there, thinking like, do I need my ingredients to be alive, or can they be static? Now, I've opted to go with static because I set the level for this in a way that if the other sounds are playing, it will just add to the transients and it will get washed out a little bit, but I don't need this to be very much in your face. The only thing I need to do is just have you stare at the speakers and go like, oh my heavens, I'm still here. This party is going on for like forever. That's exactly what I want from you when I listen to this kind of vibe. Okay, now, if I don't know where I am, I'll follow the small line on top of the page, knowing that I have to put a kick in like so. Okay, now it makes sense. Yep. So with everything that I told you before with the drums, now it's time to just like see if we can work this into something that will actually resemble a song. I've got little bits and bobs, and there might be a lot of information. You might debate like, wow, that's a lot of drums, but still, bear with me. We're going to just like make it work, right? So what I would want, I'm still on this full pattern. I am going to play the third pattern like. Now I've tuned the tom, so it's like one semitone down. Oh, I can see Brian and Lemmy go like, oh no, there you go. One semitone, not seven, one semitone down from the initial root note. I can go up, but I think it might become a little bit too predictable here. But what I need is, there you go, boom, boom, do. Yep. Because it's the one note that, yep, the note is involved within the arpeggio as well. There's one note playing this as well. So it's not very odd for me to use this note. A little bit of music theory there, so that's that. Now, I have got a bass line that does a hypnotizing kind of loop, an infinite loop. Listen to this. I'm playing. Let me lower the filter. Now within the 4-bar measure, I've opted to even chop it up. So the first 2 measures of my bar are long notes, and I'll speed them up. I double the tempo toward the end of the bar, because now you get the theme that you're walking. Skip, skippity, 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 whoa. So it's very playful, and at the same time, it's like if I'm lowering it, it sits nice and snug underneath that very busy arpeggio. Start again. Boom. There you go. Nice. Nice and deep. I've got a little bit of reverb on there. Now, if I would move up, the next thing I would do is introduce my drums again. Yeah? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 with the. Nice one. I'm going to open up the filter a little bit on the mini guitar. This is a semi-drop that I'll do. It sounds like long notes, but I'm trying to get multiple things out of the boxes that I'm doing. So that would mean that you can do different things, because it's all 16th notes as well. So it needs to become a little bit more aggressive. Now this plays a song and dance with my close head right here. But for melodic techno, I would like things to be spaced out a little bit, so I will just like open up the release a little bit to the point where I can barely make out. Let's lower the filter. Barely make out that there are multiple notes playing, but it's still pulsating, right? Oh, I can still remember those days where I had to just like chop up the audio and had like little automation lanes where I needed to chop up these things as my sampler was not fast enough to handle in the incoming MIDI. So that's how we used to do it back in the days on an S1100 or S1000 or S950 even. A little bit of side note. So now that we got this, it's moving. Now I'm thinking I need a little bit more groove, right? Because this is going. Ooh. Take this out. This is where my top loops are gonna come in. So track 2, track 4 with that, 2, 3, and go like boom, jack, boom, boom, jack, boom, jack, boom, boom, jack. Nice. See, nice and playful. That's very important. So if you take this out, for instance, see, not so great. But this is helping the RDA, obviously. That's a very important structure. Now, cool. Let's move on and play a different sort of like. So different rhythms are helping the track forward, right? Then you play with the levels. I think that open hat is a little bit too loud. I'll lower it a little bit. And it's going to hide within the triplet that's playing here. I'm just going to stick it underneath because, funny enough, this sound is almost identical to a lot of smaller hats in a triplet together, as you can hear. Tip, tip, tip. So if I'm lowering it, see if you can make it out still. Yeah, nice. Okay, now another thing, if I'm lifting up the track to a different level, I'm gonna go jam, 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 bam, bam, bam. Nice one. Bringing in the cymbal here. The tone is on, say, between 12 and 1 o'clock. Kick in, bam, jack, do, bam, do, jack, do. Ah, nice. Okay, moving on. Listen to what happens if I'm going to play this percussion loop. But then this filter goes down and I'll play this. And lift the song and dance again. Again, hamster wheel, infinite loop. Let's take out the R and listen to the drums. I'm going to mute the low tom here. Let's take out the cymbal as well. Nice, yeah? So it does. Tom. So there's always a thing in the measure where you can follow where this groove is going. And that bass line is doing. Okay, bring in my R. Now at some point I'm thinking, okay, I'm liking this. The only thing I need right now is something that I can play so that I'm doing something live, right? So I'm gonna go to my OB6. Cool, no OB6. There usually is an OB6 that plays something. I'm not even gonna go in what that was. Okay, so what I will do is, now that I finally found the OB6, is I will just add something to my bass line. Something like that. I'm going to open up my release so this keeps playing if I'm leaving it alone. I've transposed it to the C minor chord that I play. So you can have an impact, have something dramatic, build up the track, play with the filter. Play the right notes. Nice. Now I've got all the ingredients that I want. I'm not even going to sequence something here because this is going to smear everything that I've just played. So I'm just going to use this as a solo instrument for now. I could debate that at some point I would like to just like lay down some pads for like so, but then bring them in slowly. So I'll just make a little bit more space. And open it up like so. Nice. Now the only thing you need now, I think, is a theme of some sort that would lift the track up to just take it into another direction. I'm not using much, but listen to this. This is my subsequent. So the subsequent is playing a theme of some sort. So what did we have? We got our groove, right, like so. I'm just going to open up the kick and everything's on. So then quick fast here. Yep, that is the RD8, nice, with some loops. Adding something to the groove and playing an arpeggio coming from the Akai MPC Live. Thinking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and so you see how I'm using my multi-clock to just like throw stuff in and out. So this is a nice sort of like lo-fi kind of intro. Nice. As I said earlier in the video, you can debate to have a filter on the piano. I'm not sure if I had one. Did I have a filter on the piano? I think I might have. No, I have not. But you can debate to have one on there. Put an insert. Go like plug in, yep. Go filter. Yeah, nice one. Let's see. What have we got? Filter. Yep. Go in. Nice. And automated, obviously. You can stick this on the Q-Link if you want to. Nice, you know? Okay. Now, we're going to go in and make sure that the cymbal's on. Take mute off. Get in on pattern. Going to go for the first pattern. So we know that if we're going to play it, it's going to start playing that. I'm going to lower the output for the RD8, the stereo out, or at least where all the drums are, and play the kick. Bam, bam, bam. You see how my muscle memory is not thinking like, okay, I know, boom, kick. Kick is here. And this is my last sort of like resort. If I want you to hear it, you'll hear it. If I don't want you to hear it, you won't hear it. So take out the kick, 2, 3, and go like boom, tack, 2, tack, boom, bap, boom, bap, Another thing to note is if you're using a kick and you're using a DM12 mixer, make sure you're using the microphone preamps to go in, especially on your kick. It's a different kind of vibe, whether you go in through the mic preamps or whether you're just going to go in through the insert points here, or the line ins, I should say, because the line ins are different, sound a little bit different. All right, cool. Next pattern here. There's a clap. Now you hear that everything fits. You know what I mean? I think I like this filter on the piano. I might just do that. And then later on in the track, once I've added my different things, I will just vibe it up a little bit. Now the suggestion of my cutoff frequency here, which is on 781 hertz, say around 800 hertz, it is hinting to where the minotaur bass line is playing. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, check it out, and what's not like here, right? So this is how you just build up the track. Yeah, nice one. It's working. Next pattern, go. So if I want to have more adrenaline, I'm adding more highs, pretty much. That's how I've set it up. More highs means more adrenaline, right? Okay, so boom, kick out. Now we're going to work our subsequent. With the delays, obviously. By this time, I'm thinking, okay, where's the piano? Washed out. So now you can open that up. Go to the filter on the subsequent. Take out the drums. Play around with the filter on the minotaur. Intensify everything. Make sure the diode clipper cable does its job on the minotaur. Play the kick. Come on, man. What's not to like here? Bam. I'm using the 12 o'clock delay here on the kick because I need things to just fatten up a little bit more. Play around with this. Have the snare drum selected on note repeat. 1, 2, 3, and all the drums back in like. Filter this down. And once you've introduced everything in a logical kind of sense, you can just go and say like, okay, nice one, let's hide this. Now I'm going to play some extra with my OB6 for instance. Now I'm going to take out my subswing. And the thing is soundscaping more. Once you lower one thing, something will stick out and starts to bug you a little bit in a positive sense. In this case, I think it's the mini tower, which is very much in my face now. But before I'm going to lower that one, which means that the piano is going to just stand there nude. I'm just going to go back to my piano. Here, go back in. I didn't map it out, but obviously you'd go in, say to the filter, bam. So, and then you work the filter down. Go back to say around like, what is it? 1K first. And now you'll hear this one, and now you'll filter down the mini tower. And all of a sudden you hear your drums again. Now, take out the right cymbal. Move it down. You don't have to kill everything dead immediately, but you're just going to play it out with what you would like to hear. Yeah? Take out both modes now. Now, the only thing you're left with is the piano that you're going to go back to that 800 hertz mark, so like here, or even lower if you would like to. Go back to a different pattern. And then build it down. So next thing would be that top loop here, which is on number 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. Take it out like so. And that's your track done. What else would you need? Transition into the next one, you know? Same thing. First, and because those are already finished, what I'm going to do is lower either the filter on the piano or just fade out the piano altogether. And you're left with your drums again. Now, then you're thinking, okay, moving on to the next one, taking out the kick, track 5, different patterns. This is something for another video, obviously, but you understand that, well, where is he going? Right, nice one. Take out this, and the kick back in. So, different pattern, there you go. Same thing, there's no right playing, I know that because I programmed it. Take out the kick, yeah. Here's a right 2, 3, back in. There you go, on to the next track. So you'll just look for what else have I got. You'll go out, next sequence, and then you can just like play whatever you want. I'm gonna take this out and then play maybe a different track here. See what else is this. I know for a fact that it's going to be track number 1, so there's going to be a piano playing there. I'll take out my kick. Bam, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Where do we go? 1, 2, 3. Play the piano. Boom. And because it's the second track, it's okay that the ride is playing. Usually I would not play the ride on my opening kind of flow, but it happens. It's all good. You hear how the 808 toms are playing the intricate part here again. Okay, that's fine. The piano, go in, same filter. There you go. Now we can open that up again. See? Because I'm using the same sound for the piano, it's already there where it's supposed to be. So now I can open this up. Full range now. 1, 2, 3, 4. Kick in, right out, like. That's how you make the next track. All right, guys. So, what do you think? What do you think of that track? How did you think it was working? Did you get inspired? Were there things that you thought like, okay, maybe I could have just taken it here or taken it there? Because if that was the case, then I congratulate you and salute you, because that's exactly what needs to happen. You need to get inspired by watching this. Now, this is a way of doing stuff. Obviously, it works for me, and it's been working for me for a long time already. So it might work for you as well. If you've got a different way of working it, let's hear it in the comment section, or just drop it in the chat right now. It'll be a cool thing for me to just like listen to how you work your tracks. You know what I mean? Now, thank you for watching. If you made it this far into the video, you're an absolute superstar. Again, I will tell you, go and check out analogcourses.com. Enroll at the moment, because we have got a discount since we are running late. There's a few things that I was trying to develop, and now I found out that there's much more layers behind the stuff that I'm actually trying to teach. So we, with my team, are structuring it even better, because I want you to just like go in and get as much value out of this information as you can. It is workable, it is a learnable kind of vibe. Go and check out analogcourses.com. At the same time, if you want to support this channel, you want to support me trying to make better videos, getting closer to you, or you want to get in touch with me, Patreon might be a cool thing to do. I've got Patreon bridged to Discord, which means that in Discord we talk about a lot of stuff. Discord, initially being a gaming platform, has been very fruitful in the synthesizer world, as well as we talk to each other, video chat with each other. Most definitely after this video, there's going to be a video chat online. I'd love to hear from you guys, and if you want to just like get in there, you won't be breaking the bank. So there's a 4-tier sort of like level on my Patreon page where you can make music with me, release music with me, or just talk about music, whatever you would like. There's cool people are in there, you know what I mean? I mean, at that same time, I like to say peace out to Circo, peace out to Limi, peace out to Tough Chunks, peace out to Locte, peace out to Domming, peace out to Slim Pickens. Dude, where are you? Brian, peace out to him, peace out to Cubit All Stars. I'm going to forget a lot of people, you know. John, obviously, yeah, John Stewart, I would like to say what's up. Those are patrons that I'll speak with weekly, and I think we all made each other better dollars artists just by just like throwing that stuff out there, you know what I mean? From the minute you're looking at equipment that has more than 3 knobs and more than 3 dials on it, go check out that Patreon page. It's Analog Kitchen, patreon.com/Analog Kitchen. That's the one. Now, the music, some music you'll find on my Bandcamp page, and I'm working on that mixer. That's another thing. I'm trying to create a dollars mixer. I'm working that with one of the patrons as well. So I need to say, Christian, what's up? What's happening? You? So we're working on that. We're trying to get a dollars mixer for for us, you know. I'm working with a DM12 in my dollar setup at the minute, but obviously there's a lot of stuff that can be improved sonically. So I'm trying to look at that and trying to just like work that in, channel-wise, filter-wise, transformer-wise, clocking-wise. There's so many things that I do think that a mixer should have for us dollars people. But then again, yeah, we're working that. So, and also we talk about that stuff on Discord as well. So if you would like to get involved, don't be a stranger. Now, I guess that's that for this week's video. Thank you for watching. I'm Analog Kitchen, and I'll See you next week on another video. Analog Kitchen out!